Mad Max Fury Road is directed by George Miller and is a return to the franchise for him and everybody. Mad Max Fury Road sees Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, escape from this guy named Immortan Joe with his 5 brides. He doesn't like that, so he sends an entire army after her, and Max is kind of stuck in the middle. First of all, I'm going to say that George Miller is crazy, but a genius at the same time. Half the stuff that happens in this film is both confusing, but in a bizarre way. Not Memento way, where you have trouble trying to figure out what's going on. This is more of a case of it's so random, it's bizarre. First of all, George Miller does a great job directing. He somehow manages to not just add another sequel onto his franchise, but also make this reinvention of his franchise and action films in general. You get these amazing panning shots of destruction and chaos that are absolutely amazing. When explosions and violence and action goes down, it is some of the best things you will see this year. Also, the set pieces. Oh, the set pieces are magnificently done. You've got tankers that explode in amazing orange colours, to these weird kind of acrobatic people on stilts that jump between cars. It does sound mad, and that's because it is. One other thing though, throughout the whole film, I found it fine, except the only thing I didn't quite understand: the guys on the back of trucks shooting flames out the end of guitars. It is weird. The acting in Mad Max is also really good as well. Main standouts being Tom Hardy as Max and Charlize Theron as Furiosa. Tom Hardy had some very big shoes to fill. Mel Gibson's role as Mad Max is one of cinema's most iconic roles. So when he stepped in, he is a great actor. But he gives his own spin to Max, which is better in my opinion. Even though you can't understand a word that he's saying, as he is mumbled half the time and his Australian accent isn't the best, it still is a really heartfelt way of portraying Max. Charlize Theron as Furiosa is definitely a standout. She's vicious, she has a lot of heart to her, and she is by far the standout. Even though this is Mad Max film, she takes the centre stage. My favourite addition to the cast is Nicholas Hoult as Nux. He's mental, and you'd hardly doubt that that is the same child from About a Boy 10 years ago. It's quite hard to believe. The story for this film isn't complicated at all. It's very simplistic. You've got Charlize Theron who's trying to get from A to B with this cargo. You've got an army chasing her, and Max is in the middle. There's not much else to it, which is pretty much what you need for this kind of film. You don't want too much going on, or otherwise you start to get a bit confused with who's what and what's who. The other thing is, for an action film that is pretty much an hour and a half of a chase scene, it is unbelievably detailed. Every little piece of machinery, of the cars, of the environment is perfectly put together piece by piece by George Miller. what can I say? Mad Max Fury Road is a great film. It's probably the best film I've seen this year. Age of Ultron was really good, but it did have a couple of problems. Mad Max Fury Road is near perfection. The only problem being that Tom Hardy's accent isn't really Australian. It's like a mumbling... yeah, I don't know what it is. But Mad Max Fury Road is an amazing film. I recommend you all to see it. And I'm going to give Mad Max just one short of the highest rating. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So that was my review of Mad Max Fury Road. I highly recommend everybody to see it. Even if you're not keen on action films, just watch it for the hell of it, even if you don't like it. But yeah, I hope you guys see it. See you next time. Subscribe, like, and yeah, stay awesome.